Now at noon, the man accused of attacking a co-worker in Salem arrested in California. Plus details of a police chase ending in an arrest where the suspect live streamed her alleged crimes. In national news, why the department in charge of immigration enforcement is on the verge of shutting down. And later, feeling the love at Oregon's waterfalls. Grant McComey takes us on a tour of some romantic outdoor getaways. And thanks for joining us. I'm Tim Gordon. Our top story at noon, Salem police say this man, 62-year-old Daniel Ray Myers, has been taken into custody in California. He's accused of stabbing a woman after trying to sexually assault her while they were making DoorDash deliveries. The victim told police she and Myers were making deliveries together in West Salem on Tuesday when Myers reportedly drove them to a secluded location and made unwanted advances. She says Myers tried to sexually assault her before he stabbed her multiple times. Authorities say the woman tried to run, but he trapped her inside the car until she was able to escape.
She was able to actually convince him to take her to the Walgreens so she could get some first aid supplies. And when she got out of the vehicle, she reported what had happened to the business there.
After Salem police sent a release to other agencies, police across Oregon and California reported seeing Myers' car heading towards Bakersfield. Police say the victim's injuries were not life-threatening and she's now out of the hospital. If you or someone you know is a survivor of sexual assault, please know that help is always available. You can get support 24/7 by calling the National Sexual Assault Hotline at the number on your screen right there. It's 800-656-4673. Let's take a live look now over the Rose City, and the sky's kind of cloudy out there. It's going to lead up to some rain tonight. Meteorologist Chris McGinnis joins us with some details on that. Hey, Chris.
Actually, this afternoon, rain's not too far off. You see that behind me here, and we'll check that out in a second. But before the clouds thickened up, I caught a really pretty colorful sunrise from Timberline looking down towards Mount Jefferson and the Three Sisters off in the distance. Of course, you can see the cloud cover moving in, though, and obscuring the sun. And, yep, that cloud deck is going to lower and lower and lower and eventually bring some rain. So let's get back to radar. Over the last 3 hours, that front, as we've talked about, getting closer and closer. It's raining along the South Washington and North Oregon coast, raining actually now up towards or just west of Kelso, Longview, and into a good part of Columbia County. And that band of rain is obviously steadily pushing off to the south and east. We're dry right now and probably will be for the next hour or so here in Portland and Vancouver. But again, rain is very close and it will be moving in over the next 90 minutes or so. Wow, that's a very rainy and foggy camera from the Astoria Column sky camera there. 50 degrees. You can see the Astoria Megler Bridge off in the distance. Breeze picking up there. Cloud cover beginning to, well, not quite onto the tippy top of Mount Hood yet, but that cloud deck will be lowering. That's the live look from Oregon's Veterans Home in the Dalles. Clear below 10,000 feet, but obviously high overcast moving in at 42. And along Vancouver's waterfront, you can certainly see the cloud cover thickening up a bit. We're 48 degrees now in Vancouver. We're 48 here in downtown Portland as well. We'll probably inch another degree or so higher before the rain comes in. Again, rain probably here before 2 o'clock, and then it'll be more wet than not through about 6 or 7 o'clock, with the rain beginning to taper off a bit as we head into this evening. More on that and your weekend forecast. And a look at repeated rounds of Cascade snow in the 7-day forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
Okay, thanks, Chris. In Washington, a woman was arrested after a wild chase, much of it caught on camera, either by police or the suspect herself.
Let's go!
The Thurston County Sheriff says that kicked off a police chase after the driver blew through a stop sign. The suspect streamed the entire chase live on Facebook. And we've blurred it because she's not been formally charged with a crime.
Nearly T-boned a vehicle that had the right-of-way, and then in blowing that stop sign, they were going too fast, so they went into the oncoming lane of southbound Center Street and almost went head-on with another car.
The pursuit down I-5 reached speeds of 112 miles an hour before ending with spike strips and that driver surrendering. The live-streamed video taken just south of Olympia has now been placed into evidence. To another chase now, one that turned deadly on I-205 in West Lynn last night. We learned today the driver was suspected in a Halloween holdup at a Central Oregon restaurant. Police say the man in this surveillance video who robbed Sassy's in Redmond in October was 54-year-old Douglas York. Here's the manager at the time.
And then he told me that he had had a bad day. He threw a Crown Royal bag on the counter and showed me his gun that was underneath in his waistband.
York later pleaded guilty and was supposed to be sentenced yesterday. Instead, he escaped house arrest and was spotted speeding in Clackamas County, according to sheriff's deputies. As they tried to stop him, they say he rear-ended another car, then eventually lost control, rolled over, and was ejected. He died at the scene. Multnomah County Animal Services is pausing dog intakes and adoptions due to a deadly outbreak of bacteria. The county says 2 dogs have died because of it, with a 3rd suspected case. The animal shelter is working with the state to contain that bacteria, which can cause rapid onset pneumonia. No word at this point on when intake and adoptions will start back up. In national headlines, the Department of Homeland Security, which operates Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, is on the verge of a shutdown. It's after lawmakers failed to agree to reforms around the president's mass deportation program. NBC's Ryan Nobles has more on how long this shutdown may last.
In Minnesota this morning, a massive shift in immigration enforcement in the wake of the deaths of American citizens Renee Good and Alex Preddy at the hands of immigration officers.
A significant drawdown has already been underway this week and will continue to the next week.
The shift comes as lawmakers in Washington have left town without a plan to fund the sprawling Department of Homeland Security long term. Democrats demanding reforms to the administration's mass deportation program first. Does it in any way open the door then to you voting for maybe a short-term extension on the DHS bill now that they're at least showing some sense of changing their tactics when it comes to ICE?
I'm glad that there's negotiations going on, but at this point for me, this idea that we're going to continue to fund them at this level after what they've done to my state, that's not in the cards for me.
The Democrats' decision to block funding will impact departments like FEMA, the Coast Guard, and TSA. But it won't affect ICE, which has more than $75 billion to spend after the Republicans passed their so-called One Big Beautiful Bill last summer. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem warning the shutdown could impact services.
I think it's the wrong message to send to the world at this point in time.
Democrats want to force all ICE agents to wear body cams and no longer wear masks, as well as judicial warrants prior to ICE arrests and a uniform code of conduct for ICE operations. Republicans are willing to deal.
I just plead with my Democrat colleagues, whatever your issues are with Border Patrol and immigration, etc., don't shut down FEMA, TSA, the Coast Guard.
But with Congress scheduled to be on recess next week, the DHS shutdown could last a week or more, with President Trump insisting he will not give in on several of the Democrats' demands.
They have some things that are really very hard to approve.
New developments today in the search for Nancy Guthrie. The FBI increasing the reward for information leading to her location or the conviction of anyone involved in her abduction. The Pima County Sheriff addressing reports of tension between the FBI and his department over evidence and DNA testing, saying, quote, "It's not even close to the truth," and that the FBI agreed with his decision to send evidence to a private crime lab.
There's no arguing there. There's no fight. A sheriff didn't block anything. This has always been a case where we both work very close together.
The department also looking for video evidence, sending this alert to people with Ring cameras within a 2-mile radius of Nancy's home, requesting any video showing vehicles, traffic, pedestrians, or suspicious activity from January 1st to February 2nd. To Salem now, where Oregon's Republican lawmakers are criticizing a move by Democrats over the state's gas tax referendum. Democrats are trying to advance a bill that would move the election on that gas tax earlier in the year, from November to May. During 2 public hearing sessions earlier this week, a vast majority of submitted testimony was in opposition to the bill. Senate Republican leader Bruce Starr claims Governor Kotek and Democratic lawmakers are trying to increase the chances of the measure passing with a low turnout election. He also says the petition Oregonians signed specifically mentions November as the election date. We'll continue to follow this story for any further developments.